Hello again, Andy with Handy Andy Handyman and Handy Andy On Demand. Welcome back to an inspection report bid. One of our clients is purchasing this house down in the Mount Perrin area, and so we're taking a quick run through. We're dodging the raindrops to do it, so forgive me if I'm hurrying. So there's lots of things that come up on inspection reports. So our client has agreed to purchase this house, and now it's just negotiating the cost of the repairs, and that's what we're here for. The roof is in great shape. There's a few areas that we'll walk around and show you. Every house in Atlanta has three things in common, and this comes up all the time. Every house has mold somewhere. Every house has critters that are getting in areas like here. They crawl right under here, and there's another section over by the garage, and there's some flashing on the other side of the house that we need to just seal and screen. And so you'll see, some rodent poop or some pee up in the attic areas, maybe damage some drywall, that kind of a thing. And you will see termite or carpenter ant damage somewhere in the house. This is Georgia. It is what it is. So buyers that don't do this every day like we do 10 to 20 inspection report bids and projects a week here. So we're very busy in this particular part of the market. And people use this because we do a little bit of everything. So one of my buyer's items that he'd like to do is he wants to screen the perimeter to keep the rodents out. And what we'll recommend that we do is just screen these areas here. You'll see he's got a little bit of rust on these gutters. They're not rusted out yet, but at some point, these are galvanized gutters that the builder saves some money. Instead of using aluminum and seamless gutters, they use galvanized. So it's gonna rust, and that's what you're getting up through here now. And there's some other areas. We don't need to replace them yet. We just need to seal them. And part of what's going on with that is you'll see in these corners, and it comes up in our videos all the time, where they make this corner right here, and it leaks because they don't seal it properly. They run rivets through the bottom, and then the fascia and the soffit rot underneath. So you got rotted fascia is this board that the gutter sits against, and the soffit is the underside. And so we can fix that. This particular gutter here probably got hit by a moving truck or somebody that was doing the roof and put a ladder up here, so it's cut. So this section here needs to be replaced. The siding on the house, it's mostly a brick house. There's siding in the back and just on these gables. This is a masonite Dutch lap siding, so it actually comes in a little panel that's two boards. So it looks like sheet side or single board siding, but it's not. And we can still find this product, but what I'd recommend to our client here is we go ahead and replace this area. James Hardy makes a 4x8 sheet of what we call cedar mill, but there's a smooth plank board and batten type siding that we can put here that'll give us this similar look. The spacing will be a little bit different, but it'll never rot, and we can butter the bottom edge on this side here so the water won't get to it. The inspector noted that these pieces here rotted, and there's some on the other side of the house. On the left side of the house, and again, apologize, I'm rushing a little bit. I think on this corner right here, in some areas we just need to trim back the limbs like this here because the squirrels are coming up through here. And again, if you look carefully right here, you can see this corner gutter is leaking here. See the black in that area? I'll get my finger out and the camera will focus again. That area is rotting right there. And then we come around this side, there's a fascia on this left side of the house that's rotted. Nothing major, but whenever you see wrinkling like this in the wood, you just know it's rotted. And this is another area that we're gonna have to screen to keep the little critters out. A lot of these vents here need to be sealed. This roof, I can't tell how old it is, but it's not that old. It looks like they had a piece of flashing somewhere here that fell down that we need to just remove it. All this stuff looks pretty good. I actually take this back. This particular masonite product is 3-row siding, at least on this side. I think the other stuff is 2-row, but we'll know when we get into it. Stuff like this right here, I would go ahead and get approval from the HOA to just replace this. You don't need to race out and do it, but what you'll see is this is a cardboard siding, so it literally, like in here, it's starting to chip and fall apart. See, I don't want to dig into it, but it's caulking. It's a paper product. Some of the areas around the house need to be recaulked. So when you look at this window and you see a black line like this, so the water's getting in behind, this homeowner replaced a bunch of these windows. The one thing that they did that I don't like is they went over the existing wooden trim with aluminum casing. And a lot of window companies will do that because it looks really good for them. And they usually say to the homeowner, oh, we'll do this for free. Well, what it saves them is having to paint and caulk the underlying wood because you're gonna have a brand new window against old yucky wood. But what they don't tell you is that when you have aluminum casing like this, it's gonna dry rot the wood underneath. So eventually at some point, we don't have to do it right away. Anytime in our industry, if a contractor comes out and tries to sell you something that they say is maintenance free, you just shake hands and walk away. There's no such animal, and if there was, I'd probably be out of business. Half of our life is spent fixing rotted wood on the exterior of houses, but people use us because we do everything. Electrical, plumbing, you name it, we do it. The fascia right here in this corner is rotted. On this bay window, this is what you don't want. And if you have a contractor coming out, don't let them do horizontal cut repairs like this one. It's just trapping water, and you can see the wrinkling in the wood and the paint right here. The moisture is getting to it and actually causing that new piece to rot. You want every replaced piece weather cut at an angle. It'll never rot again. And you back prime and seal all 6 edges of the wood. If you pull out your cell phone and you look at it, it's just like painters. When you look at the face of your phone, that's mostly what you use all day. The other 5 faces of the phone are ignored, and that's what happens in houses too. So we back prime and seal every edge of the wood so it won't rot again. This window right here, these are single pane windows that they didn't replace. Don't replace these. People get anxious about energy efficiency, and the problem with houses like this is that it doesn't have enough softening gable vents to adequately move air through the house. So if you replace every window in here, the house isn't going to be able to breathe properly, and you're going to create a mold issue behind the brick or inside the wall cavity. You just don't want that. So these windows I would keep even though they're single pane. We just need to spot repair the glazing here. This sill they puttied over the last time they painted. That's actually rotted, so it needs to be repaired or replaced. There's a little bit of rot at the front door. Some homeowners want to replace this whole unit with something new. We would actually just come in and repair the wood rot here in the left frame, in this left inside frame, and maybe paint it a new color or not. I mean, it's pretty. Some of the finishes, we just had a customer not long ago that took a door like this and just painted the outside trim a little bit darker than this door, so it gave us some contrast. It's really a nice look instead of just a traditional white trim. When you get closer on this gutter, you can see where it's gotten cut right here. Excuse me. I'm not gonna be able to get it in the video, but right in this area right here, the fascia and soffit are rotted up underneath this gutter. And then up at this roof in the valley is another spot that the inspector is pointing out as a place for rodent entry. Once the guys come out, I can't catch everything, but when my crews come out, they'll get up on ladders and look at all this stuff. You got a rotted corner board right here that rotted again because if you look really closely at it, it's been repaired once already. See that black line right there? It's a horizontal cut. And that masonite siding to the left of it is rotted. We can still get some of this siding, so here we would just spot repair the siding. They'll clean the gutters, they'll seal the leaking corners. I can't remember over here if there was something. We'll go through the happy garden gate, and then you start seeing where they replaced the windows and cased them over. On the right corner of the seat-in, we got the rotted fascia and soffit again. And then we had some board be damaged on this side over here, so we probably just replaced this board. A lot of this damage gets done because the trim is only painted what you see. This is another area back here that the inspector noted rodents are getting through, so we'll screen that as well. When it does come time to replace these gutters, when we pull those down, there's a gap between this fascia board here that the gutter sits against and the decking from the roof, and it may be yay big, but it's big enough for a rodent or a squirrel to squeeze down through and get in there. So the time to go ahead and screen the house is when we replace these gutters. And usually on projects like this, we have a vendor that we use them for many years for our gutters. So when we're doing this much work with the customer, when it comes time for the gutters, we just send our vendor over and let them go direct and save that cost. It's gonna be hard to see it in the video, but both of these stucco chimneys need to be cleaned and repainted. Same with the chimney caps. There's another one higher up over here. You know, and despite that I'm pointing these things out, we're really just going off the inspection report. It's a great house. It's gonna be a little bit hard to see it. We're on the back of the house right here. For some reason it switched the view, so there's a shot of my head there for a second. When you look right here, this triangle's a dog ear. It's a built-up piece. See that wrinkle in the left corner? That's rotted, and so is the fascia board. This right side dog ear is rotted as well. I can't get up on the deck, so we'll have to come catch that again. And here again, we have that lap siding in the bottom. I think it's the bottom 8 rows of siding, if you were. It's really, it might be 9. It's either, this siding's either 2 or 3 over here. It comes in a sheet of 2 or 3. We can still find it and repair that and replace it across that back. The house does need to be repainted. Wouldn't do it this time of year, but we'll catch it in the spring for him. You got a really nice deck area back here that it'd be so easy to screen this thing in and give it a nice area, especially if this homeowner wants to put a pool back here, which I'm sure he's planning to do. This is just a lot of discoloration up here on that chimney. It all needs to be painted. And then these roof mounted vents all need to be sealed as well. And that's pretty much all I can get to from the exterior. The rest of it is interior stuff anyway. This client will be like a lot of our other clients where people just use this because we pretty much do everything. You can trust the work. Getting to me is a headache. This client's been trying to get me out here for a few days, and I'm just able to get here now. So it is what it is sometimes. So if you can be patient with us, we're certainly good people to know. We got a nice staff of 20-some people here doing a little bit of everything, and we actually just launched our on-demand group doing the small stuff, so you can now schedule for 2-3 hours at a time and have one of us come out to hang pictures or paint a wall or change a faucet or a toilet. It's cheaper than calling the plumber, and it's the only way we can handle the little stuff. We're just so bloody busy. But this is a great house. First time we've worked in this particular neighborhood. We do a lot of stuff in this area. I'm Andy with Handy Andy. You can reach us at 770-912-2829. Sometimes you can catch me personally at 770-265-9017. See you at the next house. Bye for now.